Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special Age of Empires forecasted game. We are on the preview build of Age of Empires 4. Now, this is a preview build. It's not the officially released full version of this patch. And that is because we have some early content creators access. And we have got a great game for you today. It's going to be DeMuslim representing Team Liquid in red in the south corner of the map, playing as the Ottomans. And in the north, Krakody here in orange, playing as the Holy Roman Empire. And guess what? I'm sure you've noticed already. You can see the fantastic user interface, the overlay that we're going to be using in the Red Bull Wololo Legacy main event, and we can see the beautiful statistics, the technologies, everything you need. Bottom left, you've got the relics, you've got the all the stats you will want to have, the kill to death ratio, all of that good stuff. It's going to take some time for us to get used to all of that, that's for sure. You could even toggle it down just to change to view different things like conversions, sacred sites, relics. You name it, it's got it. And we have got the Prelate doing inspirational work, just as Capture Age have done. Capture Age are the developers, I believe, behind this user interface, this observer tool for Age of Empires 4. And what an inspirational work they are doing, just like the Prelate is with these villagers, buffing these villagers, getting gathering speed by 40%. And that's going to be great for the economy. But up against the Ottomans being played by DeMuslim, one of the two new civilizations in the new downloadable content, which you will be able to play for free if you own the game in October, when it comes out. And we can see the build here for the Ottomans. Go for 4 on gold and a good few on food, 8 in total at the moment. And I'm sure we'll be transitioning to wood very soon. And we have seen some emergences of some build orders for the Ottomans already, being sort of 2 town center players. Going to go with the twin minaret madrasa, not for trading on Dry Arabia today, I'm afraid. And that's understandable. It would be pretty difficult on some generations, although to be fair, this generation could have been a good one for trading, but I'm not entirely sure whether, of course, DeMuslim would have scouted that. Going for 1 scout means that he has got limited vision, and as you can see, has found his opponent, but not much else, with the forward Archon Chapel being placed on that wood line, meaning that Krakody here won't need to drop a lumber camp. We'll be able to chop trees and gather the resources there, although he is chopping the tree there, so maybe just long distance chopping there for a bit. And we do see, I think, is that a double scout for Krakody? It is indeed double scout for Krakody. A little bit off meta, or different kind of approach. 1 scout is certainly the approach that a lot of players are using right now, but that does probably mean he'll get more sheep. Will have delayed his uptime a little bit, but having said that, I mean, ultimately, with the Prelate, you're kind of at a winning advantage at that early stage of the game in terms of gather speed anyway, and it's going to be a 2 town center play here, I suspect, for DeMuslim. Maybe, actually, it might be the military school. We have to see what he decides to do as he transitions 4 villages off of gold onto wood. And it'd be pretty interesting to actually break down these build orders after the game, but we're going to be casting them for now. As you can see on the top left, we also see the twin minaret madrasa, the progress bars, in a very nice position there for both players, so you don't have to actually toggle between 2 players anymore to see how much progress they've made. It's all there for you, ready and waiting. As we see a couple more sheep coming in for Krakody here, and of course with the Holy Roman Empire chewing through that food 40% faster, it is quite useful to have the extra sheep. But what's quite nice about the Ottomans is that they do get some Vizier points and being able to get Anatolian Hills, which is one of these techs that they can get once you get Vizier points and gives you extra sheep. We shall see if that's something that DeMuslim decides to do. He's going to get wheelbarrow now as well. Very, very optimized build, as you can tell, and you'd usually expect from these incredibly gifted players of Age of Empires 4. The top players in Age of Empires 4 getting the wheelbarrow now and transitioning to stone to get that second town center. Now, there have been some changes. The town center actually costs more stone now, so it's going to be costing 350 stone, which, if you can imagine, is pretty, well, it's kind of halting the 2TC meta a little bit, but not by much. It's going to be nerfing some civilizations more than others. For example, the Rus. You can't just rely on the Golden Gate tickets, well, you can, but you'd have to wait an extra minute or so longer for an extra ticket to get the stone to do so. So you would have to long mine 50 stone, and that's actually scoutable by your opponent if you're playing the Rus, so kind of nerfs them a little bit. It looks like it's going to go for the military school first, though, to be able to apply some pressure, but he is going to be getting 7 villages on stone, so that second town center will be coming in relatively soon after. And we have seen some more aggressive builds for the Ottomans, dropping the military school pretty much instantaneously. You start the game, just mine 50 stone and then drop it, but it doesn't seem to be getting all that much value, at least from my testing, but it depends what civilization you're up against. Of course, going for a second military school, so the Ottomans really making use of this unique building that they get. This building does allow the Ottomans to constantly produce units at no cost, absolutely free, but of course they are produced a bit slower. But that's pretty spectacular, and he might even look to get a blacksmith here to be on the influence range of the military school. to buff the speed up there a little bit, as we see a barracks and a stable going down for Krakody here. Going to be horsemen, spearmen. But what's going to be interesting is that to see the army composition for the Ottomans is quite difficult, because of course you can produce any unit. It's going to go for double Sipahi, get the cavalry out. And on my testings, you may have seen my versus videos. The Sipahi up against horsemen trade incredibly well. They do so well against them in a sort of 1v1 fight against them. But of course we might see some other units being added into the mix, into the army composition, of course, because we see the barracks being put down, and that's going to be a bit of a trouble for the Sipahi to deal with. Of course, they've got the movement speed, so they can just duck and dive and dodge if they need to. And we are heading into almost 6.5 minutes into the game. Scouts engage, and we do see a horseman coming out now for Krakody. Will be attacking that scout, probably looking to pick that off, and should do so because the horseman does have a greater movement speed over the scout. Looks like DeMuslim going to try and just squeeze out some last bit of scouting information with that scout, or maybe just try and go around the forest. But the scout will perish, I'm afraid. And that is the second town centre for the Ottomans. We see villagers coming out for the Krakody here, going for 2 TCs himself as the Holy Roman Empire. No fast castle here, and that's understandable because the Ottomans can be a little bit of an aggressive civ at the beginning if they wish to with the military schools. Nothing too major, but it does help. Then we see another little gong there for the vizier points. You heard that, and he's gone for the Anatolian hills. You just saw a lot of sheep just spawn out from the town centre, 8 of them I believe, and that's what's going to help him keep him going with the food. And talking of food, we've got the twin minaret madrasa, which is a unique landmark obviously for the Ottoman civilization. It acts as a mill and grows 4 berry bushes which can be harvested 50% faster, and berry bushes are regrown after 120 seconds if depleted. It's got 4 villages on there. That does appear to be the optimum number of villages, by the way, for the berry bushes to keep that going on in terms of the food count rising. And we do see the 2 Sipahi heading forward now, looking to try and snap that horseman. But spearman coming in here for Krakody here. Will DeMuslim notice in time? He does. He does get hit once, but pushes out there now and can head back home. With both players on 2 town centres, the village count is likely to be relatively similar, although actually DeMuslim does have 4 more, courtesy of getting that second town centre a little bit faster with a bit of a cleaner build. And as you can see now, there is the blacksmith influencing the 2 military schools. Dropping an archery range into the mix to react to the spear. So it's going to be Sipahi archers here for the Ottomans. We might end up seeing a transition into Janissaries in the next stage, because of course the Holy Roman Empire are very strong with their kind of highly armoured units. Once this archery range is built, we're going to take a look at the Janissaries. I know they've been getting a lot of flack, but actually, yes, sure, for sure, on a 1v1 basis, they're not the greatest, but they do incredibly well behind a meat shield of army. That's really important to consider if you're making a judgment call about Janissaries. They are a little bit expensive, especially in the gold count, but within an army composition with the meat shield in front, these guys can be incredibly strong, and they're powerful infantry against cavalry and can repair siege engines as well if they should need to. And they can be pretty decent against cavalry there, so quite useful to have that in the back lines of your army. But they have been getting a lot of flack recently, so do drop a comment in the comment section below what you think about the Janissaries. Clearly, we'll be seeing a little bit more of the Janissaries, ideally to be tested for these players before the main event, Red Bull Wololo Legacy. Speaking of which, we will have access to those new civilizations. They will be played in the main event, so that's pretty exciting. Both militia schools still going with the Sipahi, so really kind of maximising the use of the military schools with the cavalry units there, as DeMuslim does take quite a few good pokes and stabs at the horsemen. Gets away from the spearmen. A good micro here, as we come to expect from a player of DeMuslim's caliber. And Krakody here going for a 3rd town centre. That's pretty greedy actually, considering, because I suspect the pressure is going to be coming out for DeMuslim. It doesn't seem to be like he's opting for the castle age. Oh, actually, I'll take it back. It's quite heavy on gold. We shall see what he decides to do with that. Okay, he is indeed going for the castle age, of course. Going for the Mehmed Imperial Armory, and we'll be getting those siege engines out there. Produces siege engines for free, but with a longer train time. And that's kind of a bit of concern there. You don't see this all that often, where the opposing civilization to the HRE goes to the castle age first. But that is indeed going to be the case, and Krakody here can be left behind in the feudal age for quite some time, especially considering he's opting for the 3rd town centre, which is now spotted by DeMuslim. And I think we're going to see a big push from DeMuslim. You'll see that 3rd town centre, he's going to want to punish it, and I suspect that's what's going to happen, as we see another stable double archery range there. So yeah, production buildings are going to be going down with the accompanying of the siege engines from the Imperial Armory. And that is going to be a strong force to deal with for Crackety here and his Holy Roman Empire. The engagement there, the horsemen going to try and chase down the 3 Sipahi. The Sipahi making their way out though. Quite a few villagers on gold there for Crackety here, looking to get to the castle age himself. We'll be doing so. We can hear that vizier points being made again, and we'll see what he decides to go for here. It can be sometimes opting to go for Janissaries. Maybe a Mehter or two. We shall see. I'm not entirely sure what he's gone for at this point. It doesn't seem like it's the Janissaries. It's not always clear. It's not something you can easily see on this user interface though, it has to be said. It'd be nice if that was implemented, especially because we will be likely to see Ottomans in the main event. Yeah, it's not very clear what he decided to get there. As the Sipahi take down that scout, and well, behind this Crackety here is going to try and wall up with palisades quite extensively around his base. Going to have to be quick about it though. He does have quite a few units on the field though for Crackety, so he'll be able to keep an eye on if their push is coming in soon. Palisades might not stand too much of a test against Mangonels and Sipahi. Reaching the 12-minute mark now, going for the Burger of Palace, so yep, Crackety senses the danger. He does have 3 town centres, going to go for a bit of an aggressive push with infantry, maybe man-at-arms. He's going to need a counter though for the Sipahi, so maybe some spears. Concern he might have is we do see some Janissaries coming out now, so yeah, we're going to see some Janissaries today, guys, with DeMuslim's Ottomans. Going to push them out. Looks like it's going to be Sipahi Janissary with a couple of archers mixed in. A couple of Sipahi being sent forward just to get some scouting information for DeMuslim. He needs to find out what's going on, as the walls are starting to go up there for Crackety here. Walls almost completed on the west side. Horsemen engage against the Sipahi. The Sipahi do pull back. He has to because the spears on hand. And DeMuslim knows what's up. He knows the army composition now. He knows it's cavalry and spears, and Janissaries should be doing pretty decent against those. With the meat shield in front for sure. Does need quite a lot of gold though for those Janissary production. As you can see, DeMuslim spending almost everything. So this has got 100. Yeah, 300 gold per minute roughly. Another vizier point being spent, and it might have been for more Janissaries. Wasn't particularly clear there, but in any case, he's going to go forward now with his army, with a Mangonel behind. A couple of Sipahi waited as well for 7 Janissaries. Going to be taking the fight now. This is a problem for Crackety here. Doesn't have the unit production he needs really. Reducing out of 3 town centres means he is ahead on villagers. Ahead by 4 though, so not a great deal considering he's invested so much into a 3rd town centre. Really, the early 2nd town centre is really paying dividends for the Ottomans. As we see the engagement here, the Ottomans fighting with the Sipahi, and the Sipahi certainly will win that fight against the Ottomans, not only just with numbers but the quality of unit. As Crackety here heads back behind the palisade gate, but this is going to be a problem for Crackety. It's not going to be too much of a problem for these units to break through the palisade gates as the Janissaries do unfold against those horsemen, and there are a couple of man-at-arms going to engage with the Sipahi, and this is where we see the Janissaries excel. This is how to use them as the back line to fight against. There we are, they're ripping through everything, and this is the power of the Janissaries. I know a lot of people have given them a lot of flack, but look at them do work here. There are Sipahi there taking engagement against the man-at-arms, but they're just tanking things mostly, and because of this, the Janissaries behind are able to unfold and unleash their gunpowdery goodness. And as we see the boulders from the Mangonel unleashing on the palisade gate, and the Ottomans are going to break through here against the Holy Roman Empire, and it's going to spell trouble here for Crackety here. And the Sipahi now going to head into the wood line and do some damage against the landmark as well. So Lance Connector is mixed in there with the man-at-arms on the front line, and this is an issue for Crackety here. Looks like he's under pressure here, a lot of wood economy being idled. And with that, this might see the GG, because now the Sipahi are going to head forward, and the Mangonels are behind, going to take care of the infantry. With the Janissaries being caught out a little bit, but they do head behind the Sipahi, and this is how to use them. The Sipahi acting as a great meat shield with the Janissaries behind. They're going to rip through the infantry. With this, they are going to get ripped apart by the Lance Connector though. The Lance Connector doing great work against the Sipahi. Relic being brought in by the Prelate. It just seems to be too much here. The Sipahi are holding firm with the Mangonel behind, and the Janissaries mopping up everything in behind. And That Predator is going to be taken down. We are seeing the end of this game. Crackety here taps out. DeMuslim takes this game number 1. We're going to see some more games between these two players. But the Ottomans are triumphing over the Holy Roman Empire on Dry Arabia today. Hope you guys enjoyed this casted game. And if you did, do give it a thumbs up. If you want to see some more Age of Empires 4 content, click the right hand card screen now for some more casted games. Take care and see you next time.